The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. What's going on, my Go Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 269. We are live, as always, over on YouTube. If you're out there in the live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you are watching this in replay or listening in podcast form, the conversation does not have to stop here. Go ahead and utilize the comment section. Ask any questions or comments that you have. If there's a question, we'll get the answer to that. If it's not for me, if it's one of the other people on the panel, then I'll make sure that they get those questions as well. So utilize that comment section all that you can. If you want to call or text in the show, yes, you can call in and text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. Check out aegisguncare.com. That phone number is 530-364-4678. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran, and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness, and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I could probably be a pretty decent ear to listen and maybe talk you through some stuff. If you are looking for someone that can get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers and sisters out here that are able and willing to help in any way. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please, utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline. 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. As always, we're spotlighting the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title of United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And we're a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-2A podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. Let me get this off of my ugly jar head and say hello to everybody out there, and say hello to the couple of guys right now that we got joining us. We might have some more. We got some leaks out there, so if they want to come on in, check your emails. You guys, the usual suspects, know who you are. From Ohio. Man, I don't know if you're an Ohio State fan or not, but if you are, you had a pretty tough weekend this weekend, but sorry to hear that. Not really, but from Ohio and from the 740, we got Chris. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Thanks for the link. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, it was a rough weekend.
You know, I'm an SEC country, so I don't really care who wins the Michigan-Ohio State game, but I did watch it. It's one of the better games of the year. So especially when they're ranked 2 and 3, I mean, it's just going to be a hell of a game. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. That fourth quarter got away from me a little bit, though.
Yeah, it did. 2 years in a row, too. That's what even hurts.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think Harbaugh's starting to figure some stuff out. That guy's wife is out there. She says, nice shirt. Oh, yeah. That guy's wife media right there. That is Clover's better half for damn sure. Go check out that guy's wife media. She's doing a whole lot of stuff in the last couple of years. Isn't she, Clove? But yeah, we'll say hi to everybody in the chat here in a second. But riding shotgun with us as always, our quasi co-host. We might have a little announcement we might bring up here a bit later about the Ghost and Clover podcast. We've been talking about some stuff, but for tonight, riding shotgun is always from the great state of Texas, the tactical virus. Leprechaun himself. What's up, homie?
So Dave Chappelle, I think is who it is, says that Ohio is an old Indian word for land of poor white people.
Yeah. I think Chris might have mumbled something maybe under his breath, but thank goodness he's muted. So
wear it like a badge, man. Wear it like a badge.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't remember who it was last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. Someone said Ohio is the only state that's 4-letter state that takes 2 people to spell. So go figure, Speaking of riding shotgun, do you have us a shotgun of the week this week, bud?
I don't think we've ever talked about the Marlin Model 90. Marlin, not
If
known.
we did, I wouldn't know the difference. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Marlin, not known for very many shotguns for sure. The Model 90, I think they built that 30s, 40s, 50s, somewhere in that range for a couple decades, maybe. For I believe it was Sears, and I don't think it was called the Model 90. I think they had branded it it was either Ranger or J.C. Higgins, or maybe it was both. Who knows?
Sure.
But an over under for Marlin. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that sounds good. Robert Adams out there says he wants a Ruger AR for Christmas. So there you go. Angry Ranger says Ohio is also Japanese for hello. Yes, it is, but it's not spelled OHIO. It's OHAIYO. Ohio gozaimasu. I think that's how you spell it, but I might be wrong about the spelling. But it's Ohio gozaimasu. Yes, Japanese. My wife being Japanese, I know quite a bit, but Japan's one of those weird ones that I guess we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening here too, and they have it the same way. It's this different greetings. You kind of get away with Ohio pretty much all the time, but they have one that's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and all of that. But it is what it is. So yeah, let's run through everybody and say hello to the band of misfits out there. G23 is out there. Tactical Foot. What's up, Buck? I need to get a hold of Buck here pretty soon. We might have to do some reloading. Chris is working double duty. Snob is out there. He says, yo. Yeah, and this is not a joke in any way. Keep Snob in your thoughts, guys. Little puppy dog either got hit by a car or kicked by a cow. He's not real sure. The puppy's alive. Everything's good, but as of right now, there might be some nerve damage in one of his legs, and if it doesn't get any better, he might have to lose the leg. And it's a beautiful little Aussie. I think it's an Aussie. It looks like an Aussie. So keep Snob in your thoughts, because if you're a dog lover like I am, and you never want to hear stuff like that. So hang in there, buddy. We got you. Jacob's out there. What's up, Jacob? I love Jacob. Jacob is the king of great questions on this panel, on the show. We're so thankful for Jacob to trusting us with a lot of his questions, being young in the firearm community and all of that. He does trust a lot of us to ask questions, and I think we do a pretty good job. And the good thing about everyone that's on this panel, typically one of us is going to know an answer. Doesn't mean that I'm going to know everything, because I don't know a lot. I know a lot about certain things, but the rest of them I don't. But we have guys on here and gals that do know a lot. So if you guys do have any questions out there, go ahead and throw them out there. Ozzy's out there. Bark at the Moon, he says. Milsurp Duo's out there. He says he just figured he'd drop by and say hello. He's got a reloading podcast tonight as well, so we'll be able to listen in live. Well, damn, I have to go check out. Hey, Chris, do you know what channel that reloading podcast that he is it on his channel?
No, I don't think it's on his. I am subscribed to it. I listen to it on a podcast thing when I'm at work, but they do go live on YouTube.
Okay, well, I'll have to figure it out, and I might just send him an email or something to find out what channel it's on so I can listen to it. But who would have thunk? Clover knows this to be true. Who would have thunk even like 3 months ago that I ever said I'm gonna go try to check out a reloading podcast? You would have said I'm absolutely batshit crazy, but it is what it is. Gary's out there. Gary's got a link if he wants to jump in. He's more than welcome to. Calico Jack's out there. He says howdy. Marcus is out there. He says, yo, Ghost, what up? Let me be the first to answer your question. More guns. Well, that's not a bad. That's the question is what do gun guys need for Christmas? And that's obviously a great answer, is more guns. Can you ever have too many guns? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Wes is out there. What's up, Wes? Trash Panda's out there. What's up, Panda? We already said hello to Armentia. Hello, darling. Angry Ranger, we said hello to earlier. Let's see here. Snob is what is that hideous hat that Chris is wearing? Oh my bad. It is pretty hideous. I'm just gonna say. I think one person out here might like it, but the rest of us just think that's just, I don't know. It doesn't get much uglier than that. Rod is out there. We wish it was Shelly, but it's probably Rod. But we'll take Rod. You know, what's up, buddy? Hope everything is going well for you. We need to talk soon, bro. We do need to talk soon. 223 DMR is out there. This is Biden Secret Service motorcade blew up today. I didn't hear that, but then again, I don't watch the news. Anybody here? Chris, Clover, did you hear about the Secret Service motorcade blowing up? That's kind of interesting.
I did not hear that one.
I guarantee someone lost their damn job. I haven't heard about that. No, I was making fun about going checking out that guy's wife media because she's been busting her tail for years now, putting content out there. I am working my butt off watching the grandkids, so that's true too. Michael Dunn's out there. What's up, Michael? How are you doing? Let's see if I'm trying to catch back up. 223 says my Georgia team is undefeated. Well, got a pretty good football team. I'm not going to say that because you guys are pretty damn good. Robert says I'm from Ohio. Well, not everybody's perfect. Let's see here. Trying to catch up. Sorry here. See if I'm missing anything big time. Michael Dunn says anything gun related is always nice for any occasion. This is true. Milsurp says he wants a couple reloading items Christmas plus anything Milsurp. There you go. Angry Ranger says I'm a Texan. Well, then you're in good company, my friend. We spell anything at least best we can. That's true. That's a true thing. I'm from Texas. I don't live there right now, but I grew up in Texas, grew up in just outside of Dallas. Obviously, Clover's from the sticks of East Texas. If you couldn't tell that, just listen to him talk and you'll figure that out. The only one that's got a worse accent is Snob. That Okie accent, man, I tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. Robert says my AR will be 5.56. Okay. Yeah. If 10 years ago, that's probably been less than that, probably 5 years ago, honestly. 5 or 6 years ago, if someone just said AR, it was pretty much all automatically assumed it was 5.56. These days, I mean, almost it's kind of like, hey, like when I grew up, we called everything a Coke. And they say, well, I want a Coke. Okay, what kind? Oh, I'll take Dr. Pepper. And all soda was called a Coke back in the day. I think all ARs back in the day were just assumed 5.56. Now, hey, I want an AR. Oh, well, what caliber do you want? You got to ask that now because there are so many companies making different calibers where before it was just kind of the 5.56 or the 308 were basically the two that you could get for a long, long time, at least readily available. Snob says Clover knows it all. Just ask him. Oh, wait, that's Rich. Clover's a bit of a know-it-all. He's a self-proclaimed. Rich doesn't believe he is. Clover admits that he's a little bit of a know-it-all and all of that. So it's all that.
If you got it, flaunt it.
Hey, I'm too stupid to be a know-it-all, so it is what it is. Buck says they come on the same time you do. Well, that's great. I don't know who they are. Buck, if you could tell me who it is, they doesn't help me out, bro. You know me better than that. I'm not very smart. Oh, it's called the Reloaders Podcast. Reloading podcast. Okay. Well, how about that? That's pretty easy. So thanks, G23. Appreciate it. Yeah, there you go.
What was the name of that Reloading Podcast again?
I think it's maybe it's like, I don't know. It was some weird name, like the Reloading Podcast or something. Yeah. It's very original, very, very detailed. Very few people would have been able to figure that one out, but that's actually pretty smart to do that. Defense Dad says we all need the stuff for Christmas, of course, and world peace. You know what? Here's the thing. If you got all the guns, you don't necessarily need world peace because no one's going to be bothering you anyways, right? I saw something that they said there was the list of the top 10 countries in the world that would be the hardest to conquer. And it was the usual suspects, of course. Number 3 was China. Number 2 was Russia. Obviously, we were number 1. I'm not so sure. I think we're number one because of our firepower, obviously. But there's a reason why Russia, even with their limited resources and all of that at times, there's a reason why Russia will be hard. One, it's big, just like the U.S. is, but the wintertime, like you better attack them during the summertime, because if it starts in the wintertime and you're still there, your ass is going to lose. That's just the way it is, you know.
And in China, Russia's landmass. China is the amount of people there, amount of people you're against. And then U.S. is, it's the pew-pews for us, for sure.
It's the pew-pews, but it's also a landmass. You know, you might be able to get the East Coast or the West Coast, but you're not going to conquer all of us.
Yeah, but you put all that together.
Oh, man, you know we're tough. I mean? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it's a little bit of it is the American spirit. I mean, we complain about a lot of things, but I've said it forever. I'm like, people want to talk about North Korea.
You don't want to piss us off. Yeah.
Can you imagine Chinese, North Korea, whatever it is, landing on the West Coast in California and having to get through East LA?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about rednecks, and we talk about rooftop Koreans, and I'm telling you what, some of the gangbangers out there.
I tell you what, when something like that happens,
you're gonna be happy they're around if something like that happens.
Yeah, if something like that does have, like the Red Dawn scenario happens, and you get the Crips, the Bloods, all the Mexican Mafia, and all of them on the same page.
Yeah.
You're not going to have fun with that.
You know, I mean, they just need a common goal, and their common goal is going to be, hey, these folks are going to exterminate us if we don't do something. And and those cats got all the cool toys. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they're not worried about the laws.
Yeah, right.
You know, the interesting thing is people don't also realize, and as much as half of our country seemingly doesn't believe in firearm freedom, the one thing that does help America not be attacked on our soil, as far as an outblown, like full-blown, like an invasion, attacks happen, but invasions, there's not going to be an invasion. If there are, they're crazy, is because we do have a heavily armed populace. It's not just our armed forces that are so strong. It's to get from West Coast to East Coast, or East Coast to West Coast, you're going to have to go through what would then be the true American militia. That's just everyone that's got a gun in America who would stand up together and fight. That most countries in this world do not have that. You know, they rely only on their military. We're not relying on it. We're relying on 100 million people throughout our country that are owning firearms also. So we got 100 million man army on top of our regular armed forces.
So look at the regular people in countries, whatever it might be. I don't want to get into Ukraine necessarily, because I mean, one side or the other, who cares, honestly, but just for the reference of, you know, the common person, right, stepping up. And it's like, even if they weren't like a gun person or anything like that before, right, they decide they're going to step up, they got to have the arms, right? And in a lot of countries, where do those arms come from, right? Like, we have to send them arms or whatever. Here, we have them. Yeah. So it's like, even though,
if you're anti-gun, someone in your neighborhood's got multiple guns. Hey, give me one.
Like, once you make that decision, once it comes down to time that you have to make that decision,
game on, bitches.
You don't have to go far. You could have been an anti-gunner your whole life, and you ain't got to go far to find a gun. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah. Game on, bitches, for sure. Jacob says, I can't get to the local gun shop till Saturday. Hope that grand is still not taken by then. I think they're asking what, I think it was taken at 1,400, if I remember correctly. I think it was like 1,400 for that one. Yeah. Marcus says, I'll say optics are always great gifts. Last year and the year before, that's what my kids and wife got me. Yeah, optics are, I mean, you can never go wrong with optics for sure. Let's see here, going through.
Even cheap optics, I'm telling you, it's nice to even have that little a 4x20 Tasco scope that they got at the Walmart for $10 or whatever it is. I'm telling you, in a pinch on a 22, like,
not a problem.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Jacob, he just now realized it. I just thought this, Ghost, but your show is an ACP. Yes, it is. It is an ACP. Yeah, that's just, it took you a while to figure that out, didn't it, Jake? You've been here for years now.
I'm happy you went back to the old music.
Yeah, same here. That song is actually called Ghost.
I didn't realize how much I missed it until you brought it back. And I'm like,
that was the old Tactical Tuesday, long time ago, 5 years ago.
So
that was the original. Yeah, that was the original Tactical Tuesday, and it's called Ghost. The song is called Ghost. That's how I found it originally, through the audio and all that. I typed in search for Ghost to see if anything popped up. I was like, oh snap, this is pretty badass. So I did a little bit of rebranding with the color schemes and all of that, and I decided to go back and wanted to do a new intro and all of that, and I went back to the old music. I forgot how much I did like it, honestly. So yeah, it's a pretty cool song. Rod out there says a rifle behind every blade of grass. Damn, Skippy. And I tell you what, if someone does decide to drop into the West Coast, and they're going to try to conquer all the way through the East Coast, and they get through the Midwest, and they got to go through cornfields and all of that, oh, they're screwed. Can you imagine the home field advantage that the Midwest will have in the wheat and cornfields with weapons? Those people do not stand a chance. Do not stand a chance. Let's bring Snob in. What's up, homie?
Snobby poop.
What's up?
Oh, not much, man. Sorry to hear you about the pup, man. Hope everything works out good for you.
Yeah, he's doing better. So,
do you think he got kicked, or is more likely a cow stepped on him?
I don't know. They said he had a pretty good concussion. They said, and
oh wow.
Well, they said, They came in and basically asked us if we saw him got run over or something. I said no, we couldn't find him. And then when we finally found him, he was coming back from like across the road. But our cows are in the pasture right across the road right now. Some of them are. So, and we didn't, and I was outside almost the whole time. He was out there with me. I just thought he went in the house because usually he just goes back in the house because the back gate was open where you go in the doggy door. But I don't know, when we found him, he was like bleeding out his mouth and nose. So we were pretty concerned. So we took him to the emergency vet last night, all the way, about 45 miles away to the closest emergency vet. And then they did x-rays and said he didn't have anything broke or anything. So they kept him and then decided he had a concussion. But then his front leg, they said it's nerve damage to it. So I'm not sure what happened.
Well, and that hopefully that wears off. I mean, it's just like anything when we get concussions, sometimes we'll lose feeling in our fingertip. Hopefully just it comes back.
That's what the vet said. He said it's probably a 50-50 chance that he's back to normal or not.
How is this how do I even put that? How is he acting? Is he acting groggy, or is he happy, or is he, you can tell he's hurting, or what?
He's still kind of, he acted real happy. My daughter went by and seen him and called me on FaceTime. She was down that way.
Yeah.
So, because last night he was just kind of out of it. And he would respond to me if I could call his name or something, but he wasn't happy at all. And then tonight she had him on speaker on FaceTime, and I was talking to him, and he's looking around, all kind of perked up and ears perked up and everything.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Hopefully that's a good sign, bro. Like I said, I'm a dog lover, so I hate to hear that, but yeah,
I like dogs more than people, so
I do too. Angry Ranger says, only thing I want are large and small pistol primers. Milsa Duo says, I agree on primer Ranger. I want large rifle primers. No shit. Thank God Chris hooked me up in Vegas, in Tulsa, for use 500 rounds at least. But my God, you can't find them. And if you do, they're like 19 less. The cheapest I found are like 19 cents a piece. I'm like, no. Jacob says there's an SKS for sale at a local gun shop for $600 right now. It's sad when $600 for an SKS isn't a bad deal. That's sad, isn't it? They were going for about $1,200 to $1,600 at Tulsa. It was stupid. R4 out there. Hey, YouTube friends, panel and side chat. How you doing, man? Said hello to everybody. Keep those questions and comments out there. We'll definitely scroll through those. But you guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday at 10 a.m. over in our YouTube community tab, we have our ghost tactical poles, and we have some fun with them. So let's go with the first one. Was last Thursday, which was Thanksgiving, by the way. Hope everybody had a safe and happy Thanksgiving and all of that. Thank you to everyone out there that continues to watch my shit. I don't know why you do it, but I do appreciate it. Thanks to all our patrons and channel members and all of that. You guys really keep this going and all that, make it fun. But yeah, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. First question was, for Thanksgiving, what do you prefer? Real simple, turkey or ham? Chris, turkey or ham for Thanksgiving?
Turkey for me.
Turkey. All right. Chloe, what about you? Turkey or ham?
For Thanksgiving, turkey.
Okay. All right. Do you go ham for Christmas, I guess?
Well, I mean, if I've got a preference, probably turkey for Thanksgiving, and yeah, I mean ham maybe for Christmas. We're weird,
Yeah,
because we do brisket usually on Thanksgiving and Mexican
Yeah.
food on Christmas. So
yeah. We do Christmas a little different around here. Between myself, my wife, my daughter, and her fiance, at least we started last year. Everyone kind of picks like their favorite dish. So we might have like taco rice, Japanese pot stickers, spaghetti and meatballs, and a cheeseburger. I mean, who knows? But we kind of like for Christmas, we just kind of, instead of having a traditional dinner, we just kind of, everyone makes their favorite thing, and then we all just kind of grub out. So it's kind of a fun little thing. Snob, what about you? Turkey or ham for Thanksgiving?
Well, since both the other two answered this incorrectly, it's ham.
So I'm the only one in my family that likes turkey, but I prefer ham as well. So we had ham, and my daughter did a pork tenderloin that was amazing. So that was nice too. But yeah, I'm a ham
I don't
guy.
hate turkey.
No, I don't either.
Better.
Yeah. G23, do you mind if I drop R4's channel link? I don't care. Go for it. He's almost at 1,000. Yeah. If you're out there and you're listening to this, and G23 is going to drop a channel link out there, if you don't mind, let's try to get R4 to 1,000 subs. That's a pretty big milestone right there. So if you're out there and you're not subscribed to R4, do two things. One, go to his three things. First one's go to his channel. Not right now, later. Two, subscribe to him. And three, go find a video and leave a comment. Some ghost sent you. So there you go. Yeah, absolute G23. Go for it. 64% of the vote came in with turkey. 36% of them with ham. I could go either way. I probably prefer ham, but we used to have a turkey and ham. But there's no reason to get like a 15-pound turkey when I'm the only one that's going to eat it. So I did not want to be like Joey Tribbiani, having to put my Thanksgiving pants on. So
leftovers, though, man, that's one of the things. Like,
I get it, but
whether it's ham,
15 pounds of turkey by myself, it would take me a month to eat that. That probably was. I can put them in soups and all. But like I said, I'm the only one that eats turkey. So, but ham, oh yeah. Ham sandwiches and using ham for breakfast stuff, all sorts of stuff you can use ham for. So
that's true. Sure. You can put that in an omelet. You can do a lot of different
Absolutely.
things. I mean, you could do it with turkey too. I can't. I'm
You
sitting
could,
there trying to think. I mean,
Absolutely.
other than maybe using it in some beans or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of much that you couldn't use the turkey for too.
I could use turkey for a lot, but once again, I'm the only one that likes it. So once again, all that stuff that I would use a turkey with, I would have to be the only one eating it. I love turkey, but I'm not eating 15 pounds of it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Jacob out there says, I want to try for turkey maybe next year, but the tag for a turkey in Indiana is $32, and we have to also get a bird stamp to $43 for one turkey. Yeah. I catch them on
sale. I catch them on sale here.
Well, he's talking about hunting them.
I don't remember. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, when you talk about hunting turkey, I mean, it's the experience of hunting it. I get it. But if you're talking about like the meat side of it, like wild turkey is not that much different than domesticated
Yeah.
turkey. Whereas like deer, right? It's like
Yeah.
a little tougher to come by venison. And
And a
so,
15-pound frozen turkey's not cheap either. So,
well, but it is. I mean, depending on what time of the year you catch it, because
well,
we got 3 or 4 in the freezer now that we ended up buying 7 or 8 or 10, or I don't remember, because we caught them for like $5 a piece one time.
yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it was like 17 cents a pound, or I don't even remember, some crazy,
Wow.
maybe
There you go.
27 cents a pound or something. It was insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Marcus says usually turkey. However, this year no turkey, so we did a full Italian food feast. Yeah, like we started kind of doing just like for Christmas last year, do random stuff, and I think it's kind of fun because a lot of people may not like the green bean casserole and the stuffing and mac and cheese and all of the stuff that's the typical Thanksgiving stuff or Christmas stuff. And you know what? If you're going to enjoy food with your family and friends and all that, eat the food that you want to eat, and if that means it's spaghetti, or it means it's pizza, or it means it's burgers or steaks or whatever, man, do it to it. It's all about the fellowship and being with your family and friends. The food is great, but you're going to tell me you're going to have a less of a time eating turkey or spaghetti. You're going to have a great time anyway. Might as well be happy. So yeah. Let's see here. Milsurp says that Ceramonic Blink Go U2 is amazing. Recorded video early tonight, and it's amazing. Are those the ones that you got from Snob Clover? The Blink Go whatever twos or whatever?
Yeah, it was the exact same ones that Milsurp Duo was talking about. Is the ones that I got. Okay. Yeah, and I agree. They're thank you again, Snob. But yeah, they're awesome. Now I've had Sarmonic stuff for a long time. All the Sarmonic stuff is good stuff. You can't go wrong with it with that brand. But yeah,
can't go wrong with that $14 to $15 wired lav, man. I'm rocking that thing for 5 years. I'm telling you.
Yeah. You got some new stuff on the way.
I know. Yeah, so Snob, I got Clover's old Sarmonic, the bigger lapel that you guys used to have, to try out because he's got these and he likes them and all that. So we're gonna send those to me.
I still use my big ones all the time because the little ones don't work with my DSLR. So I love my big ones. They're still really good, but those are just so handy. Those little Ceremonics, however you say it.
But you had them at Tulsa and it looked like a normal like lapel loft, which I liked it small. It doesn't stick out, So, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I've never used a wireless law before, so I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm kind of one of those old school guys that, I've had the same. I know it sounds crazy, but I've had literally the same $15 wired law for 5 years. The fact that it still works is amazing, but it is what it is. I'm looking forward to that. So, what's up?
You don't mind me asking, how much are those new Sarmonics you guys are using?
They're like $80 or something.
Yep, like $80. Bad. Yeah, they're the Go version, and like Snob said, you can only use the Go version with like your cell phones, right? They've got an iPhone and then they've got a Samsung version or whatever. You have to go with a bigger set if you're going to use an audio port. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, did you guys get do they come with 2 transmitters? Like if you're interviewing,
you can buy either way.
Yeah.
You can buy either way, but yeah.
Yeah, because I went with the Hollyland.
Yeah, and that is actually kind of what I'm looking forward to getting these from Clover's. The new to me ones is for shot and all of that. What I've typically done in the past is either I've had to use 2 wired lavs with 2 different audio recorders, which is not a big deal. I've got a bunch of old Galaxy S5s that I use as video recorders. So I'd hooked up one, I'd put it on them and put that in their pocket, and then I'd have mine. This way I can just clip this on them and it's going to be a lot easier and all that. So I am looking forward to that. So yeah. Let's see here. Milsurps. No, I already did that one. Defense Test says I've been playing with my Ulanzi mics for a week now and liking them. So far, I've tested them and they pair to the phone at 60 yards. Wow.
Well, I actually
that's pretty good.
I have a set of those Ulanzis on the way. I just got them as a backup set that go to the lightning port on my phone because I found them on Vine and I was like, ooh, those are cheap. I mean, they're like $39 or something. And if they work, they'll be great. And I thought I'd just like to have a backup for SHOT Show if I'm not going to take my camera rig and my big mics. If I had just an extra set of backup mics that, worst case scenario I could use, even if they don't sound as good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they are. I don't know when they're going to be here, sometime this week.
That'd be kind of cool. Let me know how those go. Smeggy out there says, you guys figure out what you're buying me for Christmas yet? I'm going to buy you a big ass refrigerator so that you don't melt when the sun comes out, Snowman. So a life size. And Smeggy, Clover and I have met Smeggy in person. And Smeggy, we said this before, Smeggy is one of maybe 3 people in this world that I know and have met personally that literally look exactly like they sound. Smeggy's one of them. But Smeggy's a pretty tall dude, so I had to get the extra large refrigerator for you so you could hang out in there and not melt. But getting you
we need to chip in and buy that fool ticket to Tulsa for Christmas. What we need to do.
Either that or SHOT.
I don't know if he's going to want to come to Tulsa for Christmas. I don't know how fun that'll be at Christmas.
Well, I mean, buy him a ticket for April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's a question for everybody. I don't do the night vision scopes. I'm assuming he's talking about scope, maybe, or you talking about just NVGs. Can you recommend a good night vision setup that doesn't cost $10,000? Not if you want a true night vision. There are a lot of, and I almost bought one of these a couple months ago. There are a lot of what they call digital night vision stuff. That's not truly like night vision that the military and all that would use, but depending on what you're going to use it for, I've heard from several people that they're not terrible. You can get them for a couple $100, a little digital night vision and all of that. I don't know. I've never used one myself. Oh, you got some? Oh, okay. So what do you think?
I got them off Amazon Vine. They're just cheap ones, but I'm not like out trying to be an operator or anything. I'm using them for hunting hogs and coyotes at night, which is perfect for that. Because I've got this, and then I've got the Sightmark Wraith scope on an AR.
Okay.
It's got this has one side's an IR light, and the other is the thing, and it's just a screen in there. It's just like looking at a phone screen.
Right.
The biggest downfall to it is if you're not holding it to your face. Huh? Oh, yeah, it works great.
Okay, cool. Okay.
But if you're not holding it to your face, you get this giant bright light in your face. So you got to hold it to your face and turn it on and turn it off if you're not wanting to. It's not true night vision by any means. But for what I was using it for, it works really well.
So I guess the question we need to ask Marcus is, what are you going to be using it for? If it's something just to be able to see certain like coyotes or something like that in the night or something like that might work. I don't know. I've never used them, but a snob just says they're not bad. So go ahead, Cole.
If he was like, I don't know if he was being facetious with the stuff that doesn't cost $10,000, or I mean, if he was actually willing to spend a few thousand, thermal's the only way to go. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like that.
I've spent hundreds of dollars on. Yeah. I've spent hundreds of dollars on lights. I've spent hundreds of dollars on night vision, and once I got thermal, it was a chore to break that kind of money off. I had to save and do some other stuff. But once I did that, it's game over. Like thermal is so amazing, especially when you're hunting. The ability to detect and stuff like that. You're not dependent upon any type of light. Thermal, it cares zero about light. So whether the moon is out, the moon's not out, whether your IR works or it don't work, thermal does not care. And it's just freaking amazing. And I'm telling you, right now, for the money, you cannot beat the stuff from Pulsar. And you're talking a couple of maybe $3,000, and that's for brand new stuff. Like if you get,
I think they have some for like 2,100 or something. Yeah, the one I was looking at is like 2,100.
If you get into refurbished or the secondary market, you can get you can find thermal stuff down around the 1,000 mark, 1,500, something like that. Now, I say Pulsar. I would stay away from ATN. I've had bad luck. I've bad luck. repeatedly. with
A
ATN
buddy of
thermals.
mine's got one of the ATN Thors, and I played with it for about a month, and it's pretty badass. Now I don't know the longevity of it. I don't know how.
Depends
It's pretty
on
badass.
depends on how much it's used, and it depends on the environment. And then when he has a problem, he'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the
He's talking about Marcus
service.
is talking about for scopes for like coyotes and hogs. So yeah, thermal probably would be the way to go for that.
Oh yeah, it absolutely would be. I haven't been willing to spend the money or able.
It's tough. It's tough to do, Mike.
So-
and I don't
so
I
know,
mean,
man.
but for starting, I love my site mark rate for $400 if you find it on sale. It's
So
great. It's not thermal by any means.
So I will say this, and Snob's talking about the site mark Wraith. So I've never used the Wraith. However, one of the best night vision I've ever seen back in the day. Like I said, once I got into thermal, I don't care about night vision. I could care less, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't really played around with a lot. But back in the day, SiteMark had the Photon. They had the SiteMark Photon and the Photon 2. And that was their kind of their entry. They had been into night vision and stuff a little while when those two come out. I had both of those. And for the money, they were nice, very nice night vision. Now they don't hold a candle to thermal, but for night vision, they were pretty nice. So I would wager, like what Snob's saying, that the Wraith is probably pretty good. But how much is that Wraith, Snob?
I got it on sale for $3.99.
Oh, okay. So that's not bad. Yeah, that's not
Now
bad.
I just shamelessly plugged. He can save that video and go watch it later. But it's got some footage of it at night with just the IR light shooting hogs and coyotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So-
$500, $300 to $500 range. That's what I want to say. The Photon and SiteMark Photons I had were in that, I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe $400 to $500 range, and they were fine.
Yeah.
But technology has gotten a little bit cheaper now than it used to be.
Yeah.
Now Prepper.
I
out
mean,
there says
the biggest downfall. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It was real quick. Prepper says he's got a loophole LTO tracker, and it's a good thermal mono. So if you don't mind a mono, that might be something. Now, once again, I'm coming from a different perspective because I don't hunt. And I've used night vision a bunch in my life. The only, in my opinion, the only true reasons to run night vision is if you truly are going to be out and about walking around, not for hunting, but just walking around or trying to, do a lot of stuff in the night. But understand that also has to have moonlight. It has to have ambient light for true NVGs to work. Okay. So if it's a cloudy night and all that, well, it might work a little bit, but it's not, you're not going to get the best of it. And the second big reason, especially the big reason why the military still uses NVGs, is not because it gives them a huge advantage as far as seeing. It does give them an advantage, but a lot of people have a lot of the other, unfortunately, the other side has night vision now also. But it is to see the IR. And our military mostly will run IR lasers on their weapon systems for targeting, for communication, and all of that. And the night vision is the way to see the IR lasers. Now, once again, that's talking a whole different side of use of night vision and IR. I don't suspect the average person needs an IR laser. I don't know why you would need one. Who knows? Maybe you do. But the night vision, I think I kind of agree where Snob and Clover are going. And Chris, you can jump in. Chris is going to have to learn. I know he's kind of new to being a panelist. You can't wait for someone to call on your ass. You got to just jump in and make yourself known. No, but the thermal, as far as a scope for hunting, you're talking to a non-hunter. But I would even imagine that the thermal scope for hunting would probably be the way to go. That's just me.
Yeah, I run all.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I run all night vision.
Okay.
I do run the ATNs. Before I got into competition shooting and got into this YouTube thing, I used to coyote hunt like crazy. So I've got one AR chambered 5.56 that I've got set up with the ATN X-Sight 2 HD. That one's okay, but you gotta have the external battery pack for that one. So you've got to like put this thing on your stock, and so when the 4K Pro came out from ATN. I bought that one. That's got the internal battery and it's USB-C charging. So you can charge it in about 3 hours, and then I can get 6 to 8 hours of runtime out on it. Because normally we would get out around 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes we wouldn't come back in until 6 in the morning. And that scope would run. With the Excite 2, the battery diminished a lot faster on it. So you tended to keep buying bigger battery packs for it. I love thermal. I've used both. I love thermal for hogs, but with around here in Ohio, like where we hunt, I kind of prefer the night vision due to the fact that I have called domesticated dogs in before. And sometimes, depending on the breed of the dog, it can kind of be hard to tell what the dog is on thermal. But with night vision, I can always 100% make out that it is a coyote.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion of what I've encountered with it.
Absolutely.
But
it's just like anything else. We're talking about thermal versus night vision. It's could be what you want out of it. It's just like kind of saying what's a good gun for you. I don't know. Go shoot a bunch of them, figure out which one you like. Obviously, you're not going to be able to spend the money probably to go buy night vision and a thermal and try them out. But you might know someone that does have a night vision or a thermal.
Well, there are places that rent them, by the way.
There you go. Yeah, go find a place that might sell and say, hey, am I able to what's up, prepper? Am I able to try these out and just see it? Because like I said, you might think you want night vision or you might think you want thermal, but until you try the other, you may not know, especially if you're a beginner to this and you never tried any of them. Then you wouldn't know. What's up, prep? How you doing, man?
Doing good. How's it going?
Oh, just chilling like a villain, man. So you got the loophole tracker. You said it goes for about, and it's a mono, but you said it goes for about 1,000. Is that right?
Yeah. I actually got it on sale for 500, and I have the HD version. So those are a great option if you're just looking for observation. If you're trying to observe something, not necessarily mounted on a firearm, but something like that is great for like a bug out bag, where you want to just quickly scan an area, see if there's anybody there, any threats or whatever.
Or bears or whatever. Yeah.
Or bears, whatever. Right. Yep.
Well, then one thing that's good for, like I said, for thermal, blood trail, because that blood is warm, right? So for like blood trail, the thermal is good.
Sure.
Looking for anything that's going to be potentially warmer, right, than the surrounding area. I mean, there's a lot of use for it beyond just the hunting, as far as like detection and stuff like that. I agree with a little bit with what Chris is saying. There is more of a learning curve with thermal, and if you've ever been behind $25,000-$30,000 thermal, which I have, not that it belonged to me, but I've been out on hunts with the guys from Ultimate Night Vision, which I would tell Marcus to get with those guys. They potentially would do some loaner rental type stuff for them to figure out. I mean, if you're going to buy from them, so I've been out on some really high end equipment before, and once you get to looking through the high end equipment, it makes it easier to identify, right? And having a good thermal to be able to identify. So like detection is one thing, and like with my thermal stuff, I can detect it, easily detect at 800 or 900 yards, something like a coyote, right? Maybe not like a skunk or a rabbit, but a coyote at 800-900 yards, pretty easy. Pigs for sure. And then as far as that's detection, right? In other words, I see something there that's hot. And then, I'm looking at about 300 yards, maybe 300 to 400 yards. I can identify pretty much anything with mine at 300 to 400 yards. But you're talking about years of use and being accustomed to it. Now that's running black hot, it looks like, and I prefer white hot. But anyway, but then you've got the range at which I'm going to take a shot. And even though I can identify maybe at 300 or 400 yards, I'm never going to take a shot that long. I mean, we're running suppressed and all of this stuff, and there's no need. You can get right up on them. There's no need to pop a shot off that far. So, you're talking about most shots are 100 yards or in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let Snub. Go ahead real quick.
I was just gonna say, I mean, thermal is hands down the best to go with, especially like in the hunting over night vision. The other downfall to night vision, especially like in our area, we get a lot of foggy nights. Once that fog sets in, that night vision is useless. Or rain.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to have that ambient light, man. It's got to.
Yeah. Oh, snow. When I had the night vision, talking about the sight mark photons that I had at one time, man, it snowed here, and oh my God, like you were blind. Like you were flat.
Well, you're also talking about with night vision. You're talking about moisture in the air, whether it's fog or snow or even rain. Anything that light can reflect off of, it's going to blind your ass, or it's going to make it to where you can't make out anything. So that's another downfall to night vision. Is it not only does it have to have a little bit of moonlight out there, it's got to be a relatively good weather to work. Now let me ask you guys this. I'm going to let Snob talk about what on the video, but real quick about the thermal scopes. How good are they when they are magnified? I mean, as you magnify as you up the magnification in those scopes, how does the picture quality and the reception of the thermal outline is a thermal does the thermal footprint get better or worse?
No, it totally depends on the cost that you've got into that, right? So you've got two different things, and it works the same as view them as a digital camera, because basically that's what they are, right? Okay, so
the one that I worked with was like a $3,000, and it worked pretty decent. It wasn't going to go all the you can magnify it pretty good.
So almost all digital cameras from the beginning of time have had a physical zoom, a mechanical zoom or whatever, and a digital zoom, right? And your thermal scopes are going to be the same way. Well, even your infrared, even your night vision, they're going to be the same way. Mm-hmm. They'll usually have so much like optical zoom, right? Which is the lens, right? Like a scope, right? Optical zoom, like it's using glass to do that. That's your best by far. And it's the same way as like a digital camera. If you zoom in even on your phone, right? You know how you pinch and you zoom in and it looks weird.
You pinch?
You know how you pinch on your phone to zoom in and out?
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't understand East Texas.
You're killing me. But anyway, you get it pixelated, right? If you get in too far into the digital. So, but higher end stuff, you spend more money, you get more optical zoom, right?
Absolutely.
And so that's where that comes from. But, the thing is, are you able to, do you get used to it enough to detect? Because again, if you're zooming in all the way, maximum optical, maximum digital, right? Then you're way the heck out there, right? So as long as you see it's something hot, you don't really got it. You're not taking a shot.
And it's not a human outline, obviously.
Well, that or even if you smell so small you can't tell or whatever, right? But at least know I'm going to go that direction. I'm going to get closer so I can figure out what it is, right? You're talking about being in the dead of night and everything. You've got and here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize this, but it's another big factor when you're talking about night vision. People don't consider the wavelengths of the infrared light. There are multiple wavelengths of infrared light, and most of the cheap stuff, turn your cheap night vision on, turn your IR on, and walk down the range and look back at it.
Oh yeah, there's a red glow.
It's a big, huge red glowing dot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like to the naked eye, it's like that. Well, if it's to my naked eye, a big, huge glowing dot, then odds are it's going to be even more so to some animals, right?
Yeah. No
doubt. The funny thing is, though, those coyotes will come right up to it and won't even notice. But
it doesn't bug them nearly as much with coyotes. Yeah.
Now, this is probably 75 yards, and this is 2x zoom, but about 3x zoom is about as good as this one's good for in nighttime, or it gets too pixelated.
But this is
And
2x right here.
Yeah, this is 2x is what it says.
Is yours
on
all
it.
digital zoom?
Yeah, it's all digital. That's
Okay.
the problem.
Yeah, see, my photons back in the day, that's crazy they got away from that. They actually had an optical zoom in them.
Yeah, because this one will go up to 16 times, but it's not even usable in the daytime really at 16, to be honest.
And I said earlier I was talking about that being black hot, but that's not
Yeah,
thermal,
this is
so
night
it's not
vision. Those are just
hot.
black hogs.
That's your IR reflecting off the fence post.
Yeah, that's the IR reflected off the
Yeah.
fence post there, and then the hogs are just black. But
and so that gets to be the problem with IR too. Is if you have things in the foreground, right, of what you're looking at, you get that reflection like that.
Yeah, but here's the biggest problem with IR. Let me fast forward to it. Right there. That's a shot.
Yeah.
You get the smoke from the barrel, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 3 seconds or so at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's got a real clear view. I mean, it's for what it is, it's really good. It's just, it's cheap.
Yeah.
And it's not thermal.
Jacob says it's on Amazon for $380 right now.
Oh, yeah. See, I gave $3.99 on Amazon last year whenever I got it. It was on sale.
Yeah.
And see the signature from the IR, you could see how big the area was there.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I'll tell you one of the things I did, and it had a really big signature as far as an IR, but I had when I was talking about the Sight Mark Photon, and I'm mentioning these because they're older night visions that I've used that are phenomenal, and you could probably get them for as phenomenal as they're going to be for night vision anyway. And you could probably pick them up on the secondary market cheap. You know what I mean? Because they're old. And so people could be looking for stuff like that. Anyway, the original Photon did not have an onboard IR. And so now the Photon 2 does. But with my original Photon, I bought a Streamlight TAC IR that I mounted along with it. And I'm going to tell you something as far as an IR light. That TAC IR is freaking phenomenal.
That pops up.
I
could get 200-yard shots off with that TAC IR.
Oh, wow.
No problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
I keep thinking I'm going to upgrade my light because this one came with it's got a separate flashlight that either mounts on top of the scope on a pick rail or I've got it up on the front of the gun. Yeah. But I would like to get a better IR light for it because that's really what makes the difference in them.
I never took a 200-yard shot because that's not how we hunt. But I have at a live animal. I did take with that TAC IR. I did take 200-yard shots on paper. Sighting in, playing around. I've done it multiple times, so I know it can be done. Just phenomenal. Now that's $125 light, and then I can't remember the company. It was like Viking or it was some weird name like that. But there's a company that makes a light for what is that, like a 1-inch tube, Chris Snob? If any of you's played with the TAC IR, I think it's like a 1-inch tube, but anyway, they make a 1-inch tube mount for a light that goes on your rifle, the mount that goes on your rifle, right? That takes a 1-inch flashlight, and it's got adjustments on it.
Oh, nice.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you're looking through your night vision, you can adjust your IR light.
The IR light,
center, or however you need to.
This one that came with the Wraith, it has a set screw on it. And you can loosen it, and it has a wobble to it, and you can wobble it all around and adjust it. So I'd like to find an IR light that fits the same mount.
Yeah.
One of our upgrade lights, I need to measure it and see.
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up too, Clover, about the lights. And for Marcus out there, if you do go night vision, the IR lights that are going to come with whatever scope you buy, you're probably going to want to replace it. So I have the Streamlight one that Clover's talking about.
Unless you're going to get the $10,000, then you probably don't have to.
I use Sniper Hog lights, but the Streamlight Clover's talking about, I have that one too. That's a really good IR light. But the Sniper Hog light.
Now keep in mind, you're talking about the wavelength of the light. So the brighter the light, the more signature it's going to give off.
Yep.
And
Marcus says, go ahead, Snob.
I was just going to say, I'm not too worried about that hunting. Now, if I was like defending my house in the middle of the dark,
that's a whole different issue.
From a different thing, that'd be a little different. This is just a toy for me. It's just hunting.
Yep, for sure. Marcus says, this is why I asked the question. I know you guys would have a discussion about this, and you guys have answered my questions that I was wondering about. You guys are great. Thank you so much. You're welcome, bud. Let's go back to the second. The second poll.
Oh, we haven't even got through the polls yet.
Oh hell, we only through one of them. So the second we're going to talk about, well, not yesterday. It's got over 1,000 votes. Which of these, and I purposely left one of them off. Which of these is your favorite Christmas movie? A Christmas Story, which they're doing a reboot. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Elf, or The Santa Claus. I'm going to start with Prepper on this one. Of those, do you have a favorite Christmas movie? Nope, you might be stepped away. Snob, what the hell are you doing? Do you have one? Do you have a favorite of those? And no, I didn't put Die Hard on there.
That was what I was going to say was Die Hard, but I guess I go with Home Alone.
Okay, Home Alone. Home Alone's a classic. Chloe, what about you?
What were the options? Because there wasn't Die
Oh
Hard.
my God.
Killing me.
A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Elf, and the Santa Claus.
Probably Christmas Vacation out of that list.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now that being said, I've got to say there's two out right now. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas, which I watched last night, and if you are a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, which I am, it was pretty darn good, and it's only like 45 minutes long, which was cool. Not a typical 3 hour, 3 hour Marvel movie, right? And then A Christmas Story Christmas is out now, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good too. If you liked A Christmas Story, if you like A Christmas Story,
I will probably like Christmas Story. Yeah.
You will probably like A Christmas Story Christmas. They brought back a lot of the original cast. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go see that. Chris, what about you?
Out of that list, Christmas Story.
Okay. I like all of these. That's why I put them all on there. I love all of these for different reasons. But like I said, over 1,000 votes. It was put out yesterday. Home Alone is in first place with 35%. Then A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation are tied at 23%. Elf at 13%, and the Santa Claus at 6%. So we got that one. And our last poll was put out Saturday. It's got 2.6 thousand votes. Of these, which is your favorite? 1911, 686. Anybody hearing an echo, or is it just me?
I don't hear anything.
Okay. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just hearing shit. The voices are starting to come back. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. 1911 medication, bro. I need to get some more. 1911, a 686, a Glock 19, or a Beretta 92. Prepper, are you out there? You still there with us?
Can you guys hear me?
I can now. Yeah, sure can.
Yeah. Okay. What was the question again? I had some technical issues. It was something about 1911.
Yeah. Of these, which is your favorite? A 1911, a 686, a Glock 19, or a Beretta 92?
I would probably pick either the 1911 or the 686, just because I'm a revolver and 1911 guy. So
there you go. Snobby, what about you?
I mean, 686 is a great gun, but I don't know. I'd probably go with a Glock. I know everybody can hate on me.
Hey, I'm not going to hit on you. Clove?
Going, favorite. I mean, it's the Beretta 92. That design is just. I mean, there's so many movies that's in. I mean, it's the basis of RoboCop. I mean, it's just, man, hard to beat.
Chris, it is hard to beat.
I got to go 1911. There's nothing I love more than a good 1911 or 2011 trigger. Yeah,
no, I hear you. I think all four of them were mentioned. Prepper with, we're going to give them the 686. Snob with the Glock, Clover with the 92, Chris with the 1911. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool that all four of them were mentioned on the panel. As far as the votes, like I said, 2.6 thousand votes. 43% say the Glock 19. 38% say the 1911. 14% say the 92, and only 5% say the 686, which is kind of interesting. I figured there would be a little more revolver love out there, but I guess not. Let's see here. All right, so we're gonna be done with the polls. Those are always fun. Like I said, every Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday morning at 10 a.m. over in our YouTube community tab. Go ahead and check those out. All right, we've been talking about different gifts. We've been talking about night vision versus thermal and all of that. But the question comes out for the gun guy that probably has most of the stuff that they really, really need. What are some of the things that we either don't think about or wish list type stuff that we might be able to get on a good deal for Christmas and all that? Or if you're out there and your loved one or your friend or your brother or sister or someone you know that you want to get a gift for as a gun person, you may not know what to get them. We're going to kind of start talking a little bit about some of the ideas out there. Chris, I'm going to start with you and say kind of what's a couple things that are not the typical ideas that most people think for gun people.
Oh man, you can go down.
I asked the tough questions, man. I asked the tough questions.
Well, you gotta take into account budgets. Like like somebody might only want to spend $20. I'll tell you something that I love that I just found back at the middle of the year. Probably was, in fact, I did a couple of reviews on them. But the Real Avid, the bore bosses, the little.
Oh yeah.
Those
anything Real Avid.
Yeah, anything Real Avid's pretty good.
That's just such a cool design to be able to wrap them up in those little circle canisters, and I love those things. Like if somebody got me those, I think that would be a super cool gift, and they're cheap. Like sometimes you can pick them up at Dunham's for like $10.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, let's say something. Let's give like $100 limit, something that you can buy a gun person for under $100 that you think that they'd probably enjoy.
Get a lot of good optics for $100 nowadays.
You can, yeah. Especially if you get them on sale. Like I know that you can get some Vortex stuff for under $100.
You can get you 4 or 5 Fiachis, man.
Well, this is true. Yeah.
If you want Fiakis, I'll give you Tony or whoever's email, and he can email you instead of me 23.
I know, right? Oh my God!
I will say the only good thing about losing my Instagram was I don't have to get the one a day message from. If not Tony, it's one of the 27 other companies that they're all in the same factory. DM. So that's a good thing. Clove, I want to go to you. $100 price limit. Is there something out there that maybe people don't think about that could be a really cool gift for the gun guy?
Yeah, I mean, maybe cases, maybe storage stuff.
Yeah.
Just depending. I mean, if you've got factory boxes for your stuff, then they're nice factory boxes, and who cares? But how often do people pick up things that are pick them up secondhand or whatever, and they don't have the box or whatever the case may be? So,
right.
Yeah, picking up a nice box for storage and transport and that sort of thing. That could be a thing.
Yeah, I did put out a video over the weekend. That's kind of where this came from. Get the link out there. On Amazon especially, some of the stuff that you can get for under $100 on Amazon. Yeah, I mean you can get like Savior. You can get a 2 rifle case for like $65. I've got a ton of Savior stuff. I know Clover, you got some. I know Snob, you got a bunch. I'm sure Prepper, Chris.
I don't know if
you've worked with Savior or not. But it's really good quality stuff. But I mean, you get a 2, like I said, a 2 long rifle, not like an SBR, like a 2 long rifle case for like $65 and all that. So yeah, cases, ammo cans. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Storage, yeah, a lot of good stuff that I don't think people ought to think of a bunch. Prepper, going to go to you. $100 limit or budget. What are some of the things that most people might not think about if they're looking to get a gun guy a Christmas present?
I guess it would depend on, what type of gun guy we're talking about. Are we talking about someone that's more of like a reloader, more of like a hardcore gun guy? Then you might want to get him some gunsmithing tools, like maybe a good torque wrench or
Yes.
for torquing down scope ring screws. Maybe you can get him some brass, reloading dies. A chronograph, you can get a decent chronograph for $100. Yep. And that'll, so.
You are kind of unique on this panel, at least. You kind of talk a little bit different things sometimes with prepping. What are some, if someone was to want to maybe get into prepping for Christmas, is there something that they could probably spend $100 on to get kind of started on that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you could start with just a good quality, decent quality tactical backpack that you can pack with survival gear for, bugging out. Basically, if you're in a situation where you have to, let's say you go to work and there's some kind of disaster at your job and you have to walk home on foot, you can't get out of the city or whatever. You can get someone a good quality tactical pack. 511 has a bunch. Direct Action makes a bunch of them. Also, there's a bunch of companies. Maxpedition makes some. That would be a good thing to get someone that's trying to get into prepping, is a good quality backpack, because you never know when you got to bug out on foot. Other than that, I mean, there's so many other things you can think about.
I was thinking like maybe something like a water, not maybe a water filter or anything, but something to for maybe a more expensive water filter or something like that. Is something like that $100 or less, or are those expensive?
You can get one. They start at around 100, like a Catadine, filter. But you can get like some chlorine dioxide pills, which are water treatment tablets. You can get like some of those. You can get like a Sawyer filter. You can get a good quality steel canteen, and with all three of those things, you can treat your water. You can boil it, you can filter it. So that would be like a water purification kit that you can set up for someone, for $100 or less.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. A lot of people are talking flashlights. 100%. I'm a flashlight whore, so yeah, I love flashlights. First aid kits, absolutely. And I'll say this: this is one thing that a lot of people don't think about. And a first aid kit is not just a first aid kit; is a first aid kit. Some are very, very good. Some of them are just going to be exactly what you pay for. But there's another kind of kit that most people that might be new don't ever think about, and it's a trauma kit. First aid kits are great, but here's the thing: you can go, if you've got 5 or 6 doctor's offices in your area, you can go to each one of them and say, hey, I'm trying to put together a good little first aid kit. Someone's going to give you some bandages, someone's going to give you some ointments, someone's going to give you band-aids. You can put together a free first aid kit. What I would say is, if you're going to go spend some money, go spend some money on a trauma kit. It's got some tourniquets, some Israeli bandages, some clot, all sorts of stuff. And Clover, we with our little sweepstakes, we've got one from Mountain Man. Do you know what that runs off the top of your head? Because that's a pretty good little starter trauma kit.
I can go. I'll have to go look it up.
I've got it right here. $110. $110 for that. And you know what? During the next month or so, they might be over at concealedcarry.com. They might be running some kind of a special where you can get it for $100. But if you're out there, and I love the idea, Marcus, about first aid kits, 100%. But a lot of people forget about trauma kits, because trauma kits, when you're at a gun range and something terribly goes wrong, a first aid kit really ain't going to do shit for you. A trauma kit's going to save some lives or save a limb or something like that. So if you're going to spend $100, you can get a first aid kit put together really, really cheap, if not for free, if you know how to ask doctors for stuff. A good trauma kit. Like I said, Mountain Man has got a good one. My Medic, I've got a great My Medic one, and they're phenomenal. You're probably not going to get it for $100 or so. You might get some components that you could use.
They've got they've got the EDC or whatever. I've got it too. It's the one that goes on your battle belt. It's just a little bitty one. Just has your absolute
I've got
necessities
one of my
in
battle
it.
belts. Yeah.
And it's like $79 or $69, I think.
Yeah. 100%. So just, I'm not saying don't do first aid kit. I'm just saying they're great, but you can get a first aid kit put together for free or very, very cheap. Think about a trauma kit for a gun person. Hopefully you'll never have to use it. But a trauma kit is going to do some really, really good stuff. So now I want to go to you. $100 budget, something that most people wouldn't think about that could be beneficial for the gun guy.
Well, I was really going to say a savior bag. That was honestly my pick. And you took that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I was just saying. Well, but there's so many different savior bags, not just the rifle. I've got a coffin over here. I've got a couple over there. Yeah, go for it.
What's that one? That specialist range bag? I don't know. I've got it sitting right over there. I think it's specialist range.
Range bag. I've got one right over here.
That's
yeah,
really
absolutely.
nice. And then I've got their SEMA backpack, and I think the smaller SEMA backpack's under 100. And
see, I don't have either backpacks, so that might be like Prepper was saying, a good backpack. You know, Savior's got some really, really good stuff. Matter of fact, the specialist range bag is one of the items that we are giving away as well. That's a great one. But yeah, Savior, I think bags are never a bad thing because you don't have to just use them for range bags or bug out bags. You know, you can use them in every day. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to get camouflage. You can go gray man if you want. Most of them are going to have FDE in black or gray or something like that, not just a camo and all that. Bags can be used for so many different things. So, excuse me, for sure. Let's see here. Jacob says, put together some kind of survival pack that you could keep in a car so you're stranded. That's what we talk about with Jacob. When you hear a go bag, that's kind of what we talk about as a go bag is something that something happens and you keep it in your vehicle. Or you grab it when you go on a trip or whatever. That's something that you can kind of survive. And a lot of people will say a 72 or a 3-day assault pack is good because typically, now obviously there's weird situations, but typically most tragedies or most things that you're going to need one of those aren't going to take much more than 3 days. So when you hear like a 3-day assault pack or a 3-day pack, it's gonna be big enough and all that to handle maybe 3 days worth of supplies, whether we're talking food or all that. But remember, when you're putting together a go bag or something like that, a survival pack, if you want to call it that, everyone starts talking about food and water first. You're gonna load down a pack. First of all, it take a lot of room and a lot of weight for every ounce. Is like a pound on your back, and that's not good. But people start loading up. I want to take all this food and water and all that in your pack. You'd be surprised. You can last 3 days without food and water. It won't be fun. But if you go and you try to survive and all that, the first thing you're going to try to do is find high ground to be your head HQ. This is where I am. This is where my training and all of that came into play. You're going to try to find high ground, and you're going to try to find a spot that is going to be your HQ. The next thing you're going to go find is a water source. And typically, if you can find a high point that's close to a water source, you're not going to have to really worry about water. You can do that. So food, yeah, you want to maybe get something to snack on, but like granola bars are not heavy. They don't take a lot of room, and you can live on granola bars for 3 days. To be honest with you, you can go 3 days 100% without eating at all.
Well,
I know it suck, but you can. What I'm saying is don't take away valuable real estate inside a 3-day pack or a survival pack with food and water. Those can be taken care of other ways. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, some of your filtration straws and filtration bottles are super, super lightweight and and compact. So why would you tote water? I mean, you need to be looking for a water source anyway. And
I actually took someone to Walmart. Okay, go ahead.
Then how difficult is it to carry a literally 15, 20, 25 foot of fishing line and a fishing hook? You know what I'm saying? If you find
never seen me fish.
Yeah,
I'm
if
not
you
very
get
good at it.
survival cord, which is it's kind of paracord, but it's called survival cord. Inside of that is actually part of the lining
Yeah.
inside of it is fishing line.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I know the list was. I mean, it's talking about for the gun guys or whatever. But something that everybody needs to think about, because I'm sure you've got friends and family members and whatever that don't. And right, we're talking about everybody, is the whole food thing. So picking up a 3-day food supply for your mom, dad, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, and their kids or whatever is something that a lot of people don't think about getting for themselves, right? And you're talking about a natural disaster. You're not talking about a bug out situation with that, right? But
Yeah.
you're also talking about a situation to where if something happens, at least that takes some load off of you, especially if you live
Sure.
close, right? It takes some load off of you. You don't have people coming to you going, "Oh, we're hungry. Lights have been out for 2 days." It's like you have a 3-day food supply. What's the deal?
Yep. Canned goods, great. I don't necessarily want to go down the survival pack, even though I love talking this stuff and prepper. This is right up your alley, probably. And we talked about this many times on this podcast before. We talked about survival and prepping and all that a little bit. But there is one thing, if we're going to go down this road for like a 3-day survival pack or assault pack or whatever, one of the biggest things that most people, I'm going to say absolutely the vast majority of people forget, is medications, whether it's your prescriptions, but if nothing else, some Tylenol, ibuprofen, some Excedrin if you get migraines, or something that's an antibacterial cream or something like that. I mean, these things that you can put together in these little kits, man, I'm telling you, medications are going to save some lives here, especially if the Red Dawn scenario goes and everyone rushes town and gets all that. You better have some already. Go ahead, Prep. Sorry.
Yeah, I think one thing I never see people put in their survival packs is something to deal with allergies. I mean, you can run into some kind of plant and it can give you a crazy allergic reaction, and you never, it happened to me a couple of times where I was just going into a forested area and I was never in that area before, and there was something there that I never was exposed to, and I got a reaction of some kind. And I could go home and take my medicine or see my doctor, but we're talking about a survival scenario. You may not have a doctor available, or so you want to have something for allergies, because what happens if you get bit by a bee or something, or stung by a bee?
Cloversac is could die from a wasp, so he's gonna have to have like a pin with him or something like that, I bet.
Yeah, something for allergies, because there's all kinds of stuff out there, and if you're truly like talking about a survival situation, you're going to be going through all kinds of vegetation. There's going to be all kinds of bugs and stuff all around you, and you don't know what's going to trigger something in your body.
100%. Now, G-Web says, you didn't see anyone eating an aspirin in Red Dawn. That's fair. You're right. But no, medication, stuff like that. I mean, it's just something, Neosporin. I mean, it's things that you don't think about that are really going to help you in that scenario where, you're out there and you're in the elements, and you might get a cold because you don't know what the weather's gonna be like. There's several things you have to have. You have to find a water source, and like I said, as long as you got a water source, a creek or some kind, you can use filters. You can boil that thing. You can do whatever to survive. If there's a creek or something, there's probably going to be something close by that you can probably eat on. But yes, you can take canned goods. You can take granola bars, gummy bears, all sorts of that stuff. Medications are big, but you better have a heat source.
This is where you sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought you were done. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
So a heat source, and I did a video a couple years ago about 3 or 4 really easy ways to get a light source. One of the easiest things that you can use, and going back into this, cotton balls. You can use cotton balls for a lot of different things. And Vaseline, you need to have Vaseline or some kind of petroleum jelly for cuts and scrapes and all of that stuff. But if you've got wet leaves and all that, it's something that's going to be harder for you to start a fire with, you go get 3 or 4 cotton balls and you soak them in Vaseline and then light that Vaseline on fire. It's going to start a fire. So Vaseline and cotton balls you can use for medical stuff, but starting a fire is great as well. There's all sorts of stuff that you need to be. A lot of these things don't take up a lot of room in these packs we're talking about. Go ahead, Snom. First of all, what's up, Gary? Hi, welcome here, buddy. We'll let Snom go real quick because he's gonna he's an Okie, so he's probably gonna lose his train of thought here in a pretty second. I'll bring you back in, Gary. Go ahead, Snom.
Oh, mine was just real quick. I was just gonna say, see, y'all aren't lucky like me. I live in Oklahoma, where just like a half a mile down the road, I have this farm that grows this medicine, and I just have all the medicine I need. I just go right over there and get it.
That's right. Gary, we're kind of talking. If you have something to add on, or anybody, Chris or Clover, anyone, jump on. And this is an open discussion at this point. We're kind of talking survival packs, assault pack, 3-day assault packs, whatever. If you don't have any on that, Gary, then I will sit there and ask you. You have $100 budget. What's something that would be a good gift for someone for the outdoors, or guns, or whatever?
Well, just along the line of everything you've mentioned, if someone could give you the gift of maybe a training class of how to use that stuff, that would be great to get a refresher on if you've already maybe, or if you don't, then, a training class of how to use that stuff. I'm, as far as $100 gift, I'm already giving myself the greatest gift I could give myself for Christmas.
Retirement?
That's right. And that's going to cost me more than $100 probably. But, medical stuff to me is a great gift. Lights. If somebody doesn't have lights, maybe cold weather gear this time of year is always welcome.
Yeah. Yep.
Gloves, stuff like that. A nice warm hat for the winter.
A good jacket. A good jacket. The great thing about a really good jacket is it sounds bad, but if you're able to build a fire and you don't have a tarp, or tarps you can get for $2. Everyone should have a couple tarps because that's going to be shelter. You can use stuff to collect wood with in that scenario. But tarps are essential. But if you don't have a tarp around and you've got a really good jacket, if you're able to build a fire, you can utilize that jacket as a little bit of a shelter for rain or whatever. If it's a good outdoor jacket, it's going to be waterproof usually. A good jacket, all sorts of stuff. Good winter hiking boots. You probably need to get some really good hiking boots if you plan on doing that stuff, because I'm telling you, if you're doing it the wrong way with the wrong kind of shoes, it just makes things a lot harder.
Yep.
I do like what you're talking about, training classes for sure. Keep in mind, guys, if you're interested, there are 2 classes that everyone should take. Obviously, a first aid and CPR class. Everyone should do that. You should also take a stop the bleed class. It's essential to know how to properly use a tourniquet, an Israeli bandage, clotting materials. But stopping the bleed is crucial. And most, I'm not saying everywhere, but most hospitals or EMTs offer free stop the bleed and first aid classes. So you can go get those classes for free a lot of the time. Check with your local hospitals or local EMTs, and they probably have a class schedule. If not, if you get enough people, they probably do a class for you at the range or something. But you'll get a stop the bleed and a first aid class. Those are 2 great ones for sure. Stop the bleed, first aid / CPR. Some of them are different. They don't have CPR and first aid are different. Here it's all the same, but those are great ones. Clover, Snob, you guys are unmuted. So what's up?
G-Webs, G-Webs is being funny out there, but in all seriousness, and I don't know if other gun guys are like this gun guy, 2 thumbs, this gun guy, but I sure hope somebody buys me underwear and socks for Christmas, because Lord knows I don't buy those for myself.
So
That's
no joke. We all joke about underwear and socks. Every year my wife gets me underwear. In the last few years, she's got me these nice, really thick wool socks. And during the wintertime, that's all I wear. I mean, you give me some good wool socks, I'm in for sure. Go ahead, Snob. Okay, I thought Snob was saying something. I might have.
He's talking to himself while he's muted, probably.
Probably, yeah. You are muted, Snob. Okay, he might be having issues. A out there, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. A dryer lint mixed with steel wool makes a great fire starter. A 9-volt battery will start it, or an open flame. There you go. Oh, he's got a phone call. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. He's back now. Were you going to say something, Snob, or did I just hear you answering the phone?
No, I think I was just trying to mute so I could answer the phone.
Oh, okay.
I think it was my phone starting to ring.
What about a solar panel, solar charger thing?
I've got a solar charging, like power bank. Know what you're talking about? Prepper probably would know more about the solar panel. Oh, yeah. Prepper, have you ever worked with a solar panel before or not? Oh, I don't know if he might be he might have stepped away. We'll bring Prepper in here in a second if he comes back and ask him about solar. I don't know if any of you guys ever worked with a solar panel before.
I've got one of the little fake. Oh, I know this is going to sound cliche, but an Amazon Vine Jackery
fake solar panel. How is it a fake solar?
No, I'm not. It's an Amazon Vine version of the Jackery, which is a little box, and it's got I've got a plug-in solar panel that just goes out. And when we were camping last summer in Colorado, it worked great.
Yeah.
And it's all, I think that whole kit's like $110 or something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's like 200 watts of power.
I think Prepper might have been having some technical difficulties. Yeah, I've got a solar panel, what do you call them? Power bank, whatever. I actually, I don't think I've ever, I think I may have used it once. It can charge normally, or you can use it as a solar. I think I've only used it once as a solar just to try it out, and it worked fine. It takes a while. At least the one that I have, I think it's an Anchor. Mm-hmm. It takes a while to redo the power bank via solar. But if you're in that situation where you're going to be stuck in the woods or whatever, you got nothing but time, go ahead and stick it out there and let it just start going. But yeah, they do work. They do take a long time. And to be honest with you, it drains pretty quickly as well. But yeah.
Now that you bring that up though, that's a great idea. Yeah. Like just a regular power bank for a Christmas
sure.
gift. I mean, guys out hunting, plug your phone in.
Well, especially if they're a YouTube gun guy, they can always use more of those.
Yeah, I got a lot of use out of that new one I bought for when we were out in Tulsa.
I agree with Chris. It's not just about having those big solar banks, those little ones that you can buy for like $30. You can buy like 5 or 10 of them. And you can get a ton of use out of those. You can throw it in your hunting pack, recharge your phone or your GPS or whatever. Those are great, and there's so many of them out there now with all these, foreign companies, from China. It is what it is. There's not many American companies that get into that stuff, unfortunately. But there's a huge select, so.
Yeah, there's one. I don't know what brand it is. I got my daughter one, and we've got one here also. But I got one for my daughter to put in her car, and it's a power bank, but you can actually jump your vehicle with it, and those are awesome to have as well. And they're not terribly expensive.
No, you're not going to everything.
It works. I mean, it's one of those things where that's kind of a cool thing as well. We're talking about your car, for some reason, maybe you leave your lights on or something. If it's strong enough to jump your car, it's going to be strong to do a lot of things for sure. Now there's a quick question. Jacob's asking, how do you soak a cotton ball in Vaseline? Is it combustible when put in a Ziploc bag? I don't put in a Ziploc bag. I just have cotton balls and Vaseline, and I'll just get a big glob of Vaseline, put it in some leaves, get 2 or 3 cotton balls of Vaseline, and put them in some twigs and some leaves to kind of get going. Light that Vaseline up, and it'll burn for probably about 10 minutes or so, at least 5 minutes, maybe up to 10 minutes, depends on how much Vaseline you put on there, but long enough to get a fire started. So
in my go bag, I just took a old medicine bottle, one of the bigger ones, and rolled a bunch of cotton balls in Vaseline and then crammed them in there. And you can cram a lot of soaked cotton balls in a medicine, one of the bigger medicine bottles.
Absolutely, you
threw it
can.
in my go bag, and I actually used that to start a fire one day. I mean, it's super easy. Yeah,
I did a video a couple of years ago. I guess I did a video. I sat there literally in my backyard when it was cold one day, and did that. The little cooking, that restaurants use for like their burners and all that. Underneath their burners, you light one of those, and then you put that into some twigs and all that. That thing's going to burn for a long time. You can get a lot of uses out of those. There's different ways that you can get for cheap, that are going to be guaranteed, instead of having to use like a magnesium fire starter that's old school. Yeah, you can do that, but there are a lot of ways that you can get fire, because heat and fire are two crucial things you have to have in a survival situation.
Yeah, and in your survival bag, you should probably keep one of the magnesium fire starters, but you should probably keep about 3 Bic lighters in there, because 9 chances out of 10, those are going to work.
And I would say one of them needs to be go spend a $10 instead of the 99-cent Bic lighter. Go spend $10 and get one of the butane lighters. That's going to be windproof and all of that. That you don't have to worry about it. Go get one of those. You'll thank me for it.
You know, another gift idea that nobody mentioned. We talked about med kits, but a cat tourniquet, an actual North American Rescue cat tourniquet's $30 on Amazon. But make sure you get one from North American Rescue, not from not the 3-pack for $12.
No. Get a good one. Yeah, I was on trauma packs earlier with tourniquets, Israeli bandages, clotting substances. Also a trauma kit.
But if you can't afford all that,
no, $30. Yeah, 100%. $30 tourniquet. And once again, you get a tourniquet, go take a Stop the Bleed class. It's free. Most every hospital will offer a free Stop the Bleed class. Learn how to use a tourniquet. It may seem easy and self-explanatory how to use a tourniquet. You can really screw up if you don't use it properly. Go take a free Stop the Bleed class with a tourniquet for sure. Let's see here.
G's got cotton balls for sale if anybody's looking.
Yes, he does. You can find that on gearwebsites.com. And this Friday, instead of being free patch Friday, it's free ball Friday. With everything you buy on Gear Websites this Friday, he'll throw in a package of a few cotton balls for you. So yeah. We're going to go, since we kind of went around the room, let's kind of open this floor up and say, is there anything that we've talked about already that anybody wants to expand on, or are we missing some stuff? Because I'm thinking everyone's got holsters, everyone's can get ammo, everyone can get all that stuff, but there are a lot of things. I love the idea about portable chargers, obviously first aid trauma kits, the go bag, the components of a go bag. I've got a couple. I can't find it. It's around here somewhere. Prepper, you'll know, and you guys probably know this too, Chris and everyone, but I think they're called life straws, and I've got several of them. They're like the light blue life straws, and you can get those for pretty cheap. But is there something, I've always used those? Is there a better kind of a simple straw filter for water, or are the life straws still pretty solid?
I think the life straws are fine. It just depends on whether you like to, stick it, because with the life straw, you got to go right up to the water source. You got to bend over. You can get a Sawyer filter, which is basically the same thing, but you squeeze the water through the filter with a pouch into, so this way you don't have to bend down into a smelly pond or something, or whatever. But the next step up, you can get they call them Steri pens, which are it has a electric charge of some kind, and it sterilizes the water. I believe it uses UV or some kind of low voltage electricity, and you stick it in the water and you push a button and it just instantly sterilizes. I don't have experience with that, but I think what people should also focus on is, water filters are great, but they can also freeze and crack. If you keep them in your bag in the wintertime, they can freeze and crack. And then, if you're relying on that as your only means of sterilizing water, then you're screwed. So you should always be prepared to have to boil water, because boiling is really the best way. And then besides boiling, a lot of people don't know that water purification tablets, they don't kill
The tablets. Yep.
They don't kill parasites, so they'll kill bacteria and viruses, but like iodine, for example, will not kill Giardia or Cryptosporidium. So you need like chlorine dioxide is the best water purification tablet. It'll kill parasites as well.
Okay.
I just go drink out of people's swimming pools whenever I get stranded.
There you go. Hey, that works. That works. As long as they're not yellow, right?
Yeah. I got another gift. It's a little over $100, but it's under $200. Is a mantis.
Okay.
They have all different
ones. Oh, hell yeah.
They have the X10. They have I think the Blackbeard.
I've got a Blackbeard but I've got I think
Laser Academy. I've got a Blackbeard.
The Laser Academy is like 150, like MSRP. So you probably get it for like 125 or something somewhere.
I think it was 129 on Amazon.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the
yeah, those are great. I'll tell you something else, and it's something that was weird that most people don't think about. And I getting back into like the survival stuff because I love that stuff. It sounds crazy, but you can get like on Amazon. When I was going through different things to make this video with over the weekend, one of the things that I almost put in, I really did. It's probably the number 6. If I had 6, I would have done that. But it was for like $50. It was it plugs into like a battery charger bank thing, a heated vest.
I love mine.
I'm telling you, bro. Even if you don't use it as a vest, you could use it as a blanket or something at night or whatever if you're outside. But you can get like a battery operated heated vest for like $50 on Amazon. I'm not sure how good they are, but for $50, I might try one just to see how it goes. I know you've got a heated vest, don't you?
Yeah, I've got one, and Stacy stole it for that football game we went to the night before Wanamaker.
I remember that.
Worked nice.
Now, do you remember what brand yours is?
Amazon Vine Special. I don't know.
Okay, Amazon.
Same one Jeff has. I know because he was wearing it the other day on a live stream. I was like, oh, I had that same exact vest.
Yeah, it's probably like $50, and it might be the same one I saw on Amazon for $50. And like I said, for $50, I mean, it might be worthwhile to try because a heated vest could go a long way.
Roy has a good point. It's gonna hurt Gary's feelings.
Now, this is true. Now, the only problem with that is I'd be worried about the explosion that might happen. I'm all about being warm, but the explosion, I don't like shrapnel.
Well, you carry an Olight for a fire starter. That's the real reason.
Right.
This is true. Yeah. That's the one. For sure.
Now, in all seriousness, if you know a guy, especially an older guy that may have had one of these, Blade HQ is offering the original Leatherman pocket survival tool.
It's like the original one?
Yes, it is on sale for $89.99 right now on Blade HQ.
Thanks a lot, Gary. You just ruined mine. That's what I was going to say. We never talked about a multi-tool.
Yeah, and those, I had one of those for years and years, and I lost mine, and I bought one of these for myself. It's like, I want one. So,
Chris, I told you just got to jump in, man. You gotta be a bull in a china room. You can't wait for people to stop talking. Take one from Clover. Clover never lets anyone talk. He's going to talk over everyone, but that's what you got to do sometimes.
That's not true. I said that's not true. Not true.
The
salt gun. I've got a couple of those. Those are great.
I need to get a new one. If anybody wants to know what I want for Christmas, mine broke.
Have you seen the revolver version?
Yes. It's spendy though.
Oh, I have not seen the revolver version.
Maybe they'll be back at SHOT Show giving them away because that's where I got this. I had to carry it around SHOT Show all day, but I got it.
So this might have to be something we happen at SHOT Show. Go to Walmart when we all get there and bring them to SHOT, and just if we see each other, it's like we got to try to shoot each other with salt. That could be fun, or sugar or something. It'll be fun. Yeah. So Gary put the link out there for the Leatherman Heritage. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't hear they were bringing back the original. That's pretty awesome. Is it just like for a limited time, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's for the Cyber Monday. Well, it was on Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday. And the only difference between this and the original is this actually is engraved, I believe, with Tim Leatherman's signature on the side of it.
Yeah.
So and it comes with a leather sheath, too, the original style sheath.
It looks just like the old-fashioned one, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
100% getting one for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Anything else that we need to touch on, guys? That might be a cool gift idea. I'm not saying we have to stop at $100. I'm just saying let's not go with, well, how about an HK VP9?
I was going to say a transferable machine gun would you be?
Hey, I'm all
the
for
best
it.
person ever.
You give me an MP5, you'll be my best friend for life.
I'm not even picky. It can be anything. If it says transferable,
yeah,
I'm down.
I'll take a Colt M16A2. I'm cool with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I know what Buck wants. If someone's got $37,000, he did see a great lever action in 357 Magnum and Wanamaker. So if you're looking for getting tactical foot up there at last minute, when you got 37 grand sitting around, I can tell you how to spin it for Buck. You really appreciate that. Let's see here. Duncan said the first thing I did when I got my rifle was shoot my son. Then he returned fire. Needless to say,
his bug assault.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to say the assault because I was like, I don't believe in that. But yeah.
If he spelled it right. Yeah. It's assault.
You're right. I'm not smart enough to read though, bro. Like you're lucky I can put coherent sentence together.
When I first got mine, I shot my eye out.
No,
I bet that burned.
So here's what happened. So here's what's happened, right? I got it. My brother, we were over there. It was Christmas, or maybe it's my birthday. I don't remember. It was some reason for buying presents. So anyway, so I put salt in it, and I was out in like his carport area, and I wasn't paying attention. I was shooting over my head at bugs flying around like a moron, and I didn't realize you're shooting salt. You're shooting salt into the air, right? Over your head. It's going to come gravity. It's going to come back down. And anyway, I shot and it come back down. I got salt in my eye, and you talk about hurt. Oh my God.
So, yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a SHOT Show thing. We're going to have to walk around with salt guns and see if we can have some fun.
Well, you can put salt in one, pepper in one, some sugar in another.
Yeah, then we can just run around and season each other's food.
Yeah, you go ahead and put that in your baggage. That ought to be
some paprika
at the airport.
No, you can go when we get to Vegas. You can go spend $10 at Walmart, pick one up, and leave it at the.
They're $50 now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, they were like $30 when I got ours.
I think they're $49 at Bass Pro. I need to go get one. Mine broken.
I can probably find a knockoff on Amazon. I can find a knockoff on Amazon.
I'm looking online.
Knockoff salt gun.
Right.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. I've been going an hour and 47. Thanks for everyone. I hope everyone had a great time. This is a fun discussion. We need to. I know I get excited and I love like the survival, the bug out, all that kind of stuff. Discussions. I don't know if people like them or not, but we need to have another one because I enjoy those, and all that. But yeah, it might be boring for some people, but it is what it is.
Use a cheap one on Amazon for $35.
A cheap assault gun.
Yeah, it's a bug assault, but it's the older version or whatever.
Okay, hey, I think that's what I have anyway. So
yeah. But I want that revolver. It's $124.95.
I hadn't seen the revolver yet, so I have to go look at that. Yeah. Let's kind of go around the room real quick, and I'll give you a few minutes to plug and self-promote. Chris, we'll start with you, and excuse me, say thanks for coming in again. You're always welcome. I send you a link all the time. Come on in, but tell people where they can find you, what kind of projects you might be having coming up soon.
Yeah, you can find me at Chris from the 740 here on YouTube and Instagram. Tomorrow night I'll be having my live chat Wednesday 9 Eastern.
That's 8 Central, the real time zone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're kind of outnumbered in here.
Yeah. I got to go through this with Travis too on Saturday. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Prepper is the only one that's that could back you up there, but we got you 42.
But no, I really appreciate the invite. This was a fun chat. I had a great time tonight. So thanks to the side chat
man,
too.
You just got to be a little bit more. You just got to just jump in there, man. You're gonna learn that the guys we hang out with. You're gonna learn real quick that if you're waiting for a time to talk, you'll be waiting a long time.
The chat actually went a little bit everywhere, but it kind of stayed on the same topics. Guns.
It did.
We didn't go. We didn't go down the rabbit hole of food or 80s music. So
not this time. Not this time. That usually does happen, but no, I think everything we talked about tonight, at least on topic of a great gift idea. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, but thanks for coming on, Chris, and we'll see you in less than 50 days, my man. Less than 50 days.
Excited.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. I'm gonna skip Clover because I don't really care for him. Snob, I'm gonna go with you and say, where can people find you? And I mean, if you were gonna put content out, like what might
that
it
ain't
be?
gonna happen, but yeah. You can follow me if you want. If you
well, you got a new gun over the weekend. That might be a new couple videos coming out with that, won't there?
With that in a few days.
Yeah.
And then go check out the Ghost and Clover sweepstakes. Win a gun.
Yeah, win a gun and $1,600.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff. But I'm not promoting this.
Over $1,600 in prizes. So yeah, go check that link out right there. It's pretty cool. You want to tell everybody real quick what kind of gun you did get? Because that's kind of a cool gun. I've never seen one of those before.
I got the Kimber R7 Mako. It's pretty neat.
I had never seen one before. That was a pretty cool.
Right in between a Glock 26 and a 365 size. It kind of falls right in the middle of them.
Yeah, I was saying it looks a lot like a 26 as far as the design.
It's a little smaller. It's a little thinner, so it's a little nicer to carry. But it's still good for my big hands because the 365 is just too small for my hands.
Yeah. Now, Snowman out there says, go buy your family a patch pad from gearwebsites.com. I agree, gearwebsites.com. Like I said, Friday is Free Patch Friday. If you ask G, maybe he'll throw in some cotton balls since he's got some. You never know what you're going to get from G Webs. And that's a true statement. You never know what you're going to get from G. He says, I want to send you something. You might be a little nervous if he doesn't want to send you something because you don't know what it's going to be until you get it.
I don't think he'll ever outdo SHOT Show 2020, though. The patches he made us.
Those are pretty badass.
I still just love that patch.
Yeah, I still have it on my shot backpack for sure.
Right there. Across from
me. Yep. Love it. Love it. Let's go to Gary. And where can people find you? And I know you got a couple chats every week and tell people what you got going on. And congratulations on the retirement here in a couple weeks. When you're 147 years old, by the way, you do look great for 147. You deserve to retire eventually. People don't realize his best man. He was Abraham Lincoln's best man at his wedding. Just saying.
That's right. Thank you so much. Where can you find me? You can find me at Gizzard Gary on YouTube and Instagram. As you mentioned, 2 live streams each week. Foul Territory, which is Friday nights at 9 p.m. and Early Bird Chat Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Also, I've been releasing some shorts each day on some of my favorite gear and guns that I have around here. So check those out. I'm on a way to drive to 2,000 subs. I'm 75 short. So if anybody out there isn't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I would definitely appreciate it. And one last plug that if anybody would like a great idea for a gift for somebody for Christmas, check out aegisguncare.com. Mm-hmm. They have some great gifts that any gun guy would appreciate. And 100%. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, man, always. Be seeing you in less than 50 days as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Prepper, you don't go. Are you going to SHOT? You don't go to SHOT, do you?
I'd like to go next year. I can't do it this year, unfortunately, but next year I'm going to try to plan for next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you should be watching Clover and G series then.
Yeah, every Tuesday at 9 Central over at gun websites, Clover and G do a SHOT Show thing kind of for newbies and all that to help out. So yeah, go check that out. If you ever need any help, like I said, everyone here has been, well, this will be Chris's first one, but the rest of them have been going for years. If you need any help on trying to get them registered and all that, there are some tricks to the trade to get approved very quickly. So I'm more than happy to help you if you need anything. But thanks for coming on, buddy. I'm looking forward to you and I are going to do a little podcast together here pretty soon. Looking forward to that. But tell people, a lot of my channel may not be familiar with your work. Tell people where they can find you, what kind of projects you have going on and all that. Guys, go check out New York Pepper for 100%.
Yeah, you could just find me on YouTube, NY Prepper. I do a variety of different things. I do obviously prepping, survival. I I do a lot of news updates. People seem to love the news updates, and I do firearms videos. So I kind of do a little bit of everything, but a lot of prepping, obviously. So I cover all kinds of stuff, related to prepping. So.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, Marcus asked some great questions out there, so thanks for that. Jacob asked some great questions. That's what these are all about. Is we can sit there and talk. G23 says, "Are you still in New York?"
No, I left New York and I live in Pennsylvania now, central
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
It's a little bit better for you, at least.
Yeah, at least as far as guns go.
Yeah. And you're not too far from New York as far as the city is if you want to get back, so that's not too bad. You guys out there asking the questions. We have these discussions. A lot of times when you guys get upset, I'll get emails from some people saying, "Man, that was kind of a pretty elementary discussion you have." I'm like, well, understand that when we do these podcasts, we have to assume that someone out there is watching or listening that doesn't know anything about what we're talking about, whether it's prepping or surviving or guns or whatever. There are people that are watching these and they are afraid to ask questions because of people like some people that dog on beginners and newbies and all that. So we're going to talk about the elementary stuff, the basic side of different things. That's kind of what our job is hopefully to talk about things that people are maybe wondering and can help them. So the more questions out there that you have during these live chats, not just mine, but any of them, if there's a topic that you are talking about and you have a question, remember, don't be afraid to ask, because there's probably someone else out there that's wanting to know the exact same thing. So ask questions, because if we don't know, I can promise at least the 6 people that are on the panel right now, I know none of us are going to bullshit you through an answer. If we don't know, we're going to tell you we don't know, but chances are one of the 6 of us is going to know. That's just the way it goes. So if you're on a live chat, not just mine, but any of them, and you have a question, ask it. That's what this is. These what these chats are about, are having fun, but having fun while we're discussing some really cool topics. And if we're helping somebody out there, even better. So for sure. Thank you for watching this one. We've got a video coming out this weekend I think you guys are going to like. It's going to be a shotgun review. That's all I'm going to say. You guys have been talking about me doing shotgun reviews and knowing that I'm allergic to shotguns, but I did listen. So we're going to be doing a shotgun review. It'll drop Saturday. Probably be a pretty cool review. You guys will like it. But we got some different stuff coming up here. Obviously getting ready for the holidays, then get ready for SHOT. Clover, are you back yet? I see he's unmuted, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I got to put the microphone boom down. I've been back for a while, but I guess
you usually say you're back when the chat when you come back.
I didn't, and I put my headset on and I was listening intently and actually commenting, and then I just now realized my microphone boom was not down, so it mutes when you put it up. So anyway, but I'm back now. I'm back.
No, I was going to say thanks for coming in, and I know that you don't do a whole lot of content. You don't do a lot of anything really, except wake up late in your pajamas and sit around and smoke your pipe. But if you were going to do something on the YouTubes, you've got 27 channels at this point. What are some of the things that you're working on right now?
I dropped a video earlier, and I didn't realize until after I done dropped it. It's like 1 year later on a flashlight, on a Streamlight flashlight. I've actually had it for 2 years. So I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm gonna leave it because that's even better. Like, had it been 2 years and I said I only had it a year, that'd have been different. But I'm like, man. So I pinned a comment, said, hey, I'm an idiot. I'm wrong. Had it for 2 years, which is even better. But anyway, what else? Not a whole lot. I mean, I've picked up a few things today as far as over on the card channel. CloverTac Cards will probably go live again over there on Thursday. So have some fun, hang out, have some fun, rip some packs, reminisce, be nostalgic, all that kind of stuff. And then still fielding Yeah, thanks for the link out there. Still building stuff for the sticker sweepstakes and the $1,600 prize package that goes along with it. So if folks have not taken advantage of that, or if you have and you want to increase your odds by getting more stickers, which will get you more entries, we had a couple people do that earlier today. They had gotten 2 or 3, and then they turned around and got a couple more. And for every 5, you get that extra entry. So they've upped their game, and several people, there's been more than one that's gotten 10 stickers. So they get 2 extra entries. So nice. The quicker those limited to 200 and the quicker they go, the quicker we announce the winner for that. So kind of hoping that it happens maybe in enough time. We're talking about Christmas presents. That would be a really good Christmas present to get $1,600 worth of gear.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I do want to plug my new channel I'm starting. It's going to be the Gun Snob Cards, and I'm ripping packs from the 1980s of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, see, ironically, you say that because Clover and I were talking on the phone earlier, and he had a chance of getting some Pokemon. And he doesn't know shit about them, so he didn't get them. So that might be something.
No, I did too. No, I got 2 packs.
I thought you said you didn't get them because you didn't know shit about them.
I picked up 2 packs of Pokemon at Walmart today. I absolutely did, because the last live stream there was somebody that come in and he's like, "You don't have any Pokemon?" And I'm like, "No." But I mean, I got a couple. I don't know anything about them. But
all I know about a Pokemon is you got to catch them all. That's all I know.
Well,
I don't know shit about Pokemon. I don't think there was any people walk around the streets trying to catch Pokemon, like getting killed by cars and shit. You know.
I think Pokemon was a '90s thing. I don't think Pokemon was.
Yeah, I don't think it was '80s. I was being completely sarcastic.
Yeah.
I may start a Pogs channel though. Speaking of '90s.
Ooh, there you go. There you go. I might start like a Pez dispenser channel. I don't know why. Just it sounds kind of cool. Now, Screaming Skull Saloon says, in case Santa is watching, he would like some Black Hill Honey Badger 9mm 100 grain plus P ammo. There you go. G wants to know, Clover, if I buy $100 of them stickers and get 2 free slots, can I return the 10 stickers for a full refund and keep the 2 free slots?
Nope.
If it was anybody else, I'd say no. But G, you know, maybe. No. Smeggy still says, I still have all my Pogs.
I wish I did. I had a crap ton.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
He's asking about hockey cards. I almost picked up some hockey cards today, Smeggy. I will definitely get some for future live streams. I'll pick up a few packs or something. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know anything about that either.
There you go.
They have weird names, right? Them and soccer players have like weird names.
Well, the hockey players are all going to have like Russian names typically, so, or Eastern Bloc names. By the way, in case you are a soccer fan, watch the game today. The U.S. did beat Iran 1-0, so we get to move on to the.
It's Iran. Did you not see that?
No, I get it. That's why I said Iran.
Iran, so far away.
Exactly. Yeah, it's Iran. No, it's Iran. But anyways, yeah. So we get to move that to the knockout stage. It's kind of cool. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. Going on 2 hours. Thanks, guys, for watching so much. We appreciate you guys. One more thing we never talked about. Most everyone in this room I know are knife people. A good knife, you can get that something like that for less than $100. A good survival knife, or talking about survival stuff. Not saying you have to get one like this, but a good survival knife you can get for about $100 or so. You can't go wrong with a good survival knife. So yeah, that might be something we think about as well. That was fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Semper Fi.